ready to start learning how to do the proper stroke. I want to make a comment about this method because it is taught differently in various schools. This is a general concept designed to both improve your control, your dynamic range, your speed, and if you're a drum set player or anyway, general percussion, also your power. Let's face it, the drums are an aggressive instrument, and when you are learning to play at this level, you need to learn to play a full stroke at the beginning. It's not about play soft so that your sister can read the book. That's why the drum pad comes in very handily. So I'm going to demonstrate this every time I teach percussion classes or individuals. I make my references to right-handed players. So if you're left-handed, simply remember, I'm not trying to change you over to the right-handed part of the technique. Stay with everything that you're accustomed and comfortable with. Okay, if I say right, you know it means left. Okay, so I want to be sure and address that now. So, so what I'm going to do is just take one stick at a time at this point. So take your strong hand, and what I want you to do is, again, thinking of everything that we've talked about. Now, see, now we're just isolating one thing at a time. And now I want you to think about looking, okay, is the butt of the stick beyond my palm? Is that V that I talked about in position? Is my arm by my side? All those things. Now, from this place that I have right now, I want you to lift the stick about, I say 8 inches. And from that point, remember, that 8-inch position is going to be important. You want to return to that position after making a stroke. So what goes into making a stroke? Many things that you have to think about. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to make a commitment to play one stroke on the head. You're going to see the stick hit, and you'll hear the impact of the stroke. Immediately thereafter, my hand will say, well, goes relaxed at the point of impact. So the stick is actually really bringing my hand back. I'm not trying to control the stick back. The rebound that's created will be my lifting force back to this position. Notice, I'm not timid with this stroke. A simple rule, if you'll remember this, height equals volume. Think about it. The height of the stick is going to determine my volume. Now, if I want to go beyond that volume, then I'm going to have to exert more energy, which in turn is going to create tension. Watch. This is wrong. Don't do this, but I want to demonstrate the typical mistakes that are made. You see how my shoulder, again, I'm not trying to make my shoulder tighten up, but there's no control. You see the stick waver. Again, watch the smoothness of the original stroke. Again, I'm only allowing that stick to give me the volume based on the height. And there's no need right now to go to any other height. We're just going to stay very focused on this particular height of the stroke. Again, every time it comes back, you see it reach that same point. Now, here's a don't. Do's and don'ts are very important. So don't do this. Notice my stick is in the same position I said, about 8 inches. Now, when I go to make a stroke, notice what happens. Do not do this. What did I do? I lifted it another 3 inches. Why? That's wasted energy. Makes no sense. Again, I did it again. Again, use that one. Think of an imaginary line. It's a ceiling that your stick is hitting, okay? And that's it. That's as far as you will. When you determine that you're going to make a stroke, don't allow the stick to go any higher. It's not necessary. Now, if you want to change volume, then obviously you're going to be in control of the stick and be consistent with its returning rebound stroke. So an example, I'm going to play 4 strokes at the original volume, and I'll play 4 more strokes, and the stick will come up higher. You'll hear those strokes to be louder. Back to the original. Notice again, the difference is height equals volume. I didn't have to tense up to play louder. And this is going to be very important, especially if you're a drum set player and you play rock, okay? You will find that it's much easier to control the movement of your stick if you just understand the dynamic range is based on the height of your stick. Okay, so I'm going to do the left hand, same thing. Now, for many right-handers, all of you right-handers, your left hand is probably your weak side. So here we go. Another 8 inches again. Identical. Remember, match grip, same height, everything. Height equals volume. If I want the sticks to sound balanced, they have to be the same height. Remember that. So here's that idea that I was talking about. I'm just doing my left hand. Notice how when I strike the drum or the pad, there's a rebound. It's almost like the rebound of the stick is quicker than the motion that I make to produce the stroke. Again, allowing that rebound to be free is the secret to maintaining speed, learning to play with power, and control. Those words you will hear me mention quite often throughout this series. So now I'm going to take the strokes and now show you how to put them together. We're going to do 4 strokes. I am going to do 4 strokes, and you will see again how the stick's height is matching. Not one stroke will play before the other returns. That if you can master this technique, it will take you a very long way to understanding about controlling sticks, regardless of what level you play. So I'm going to start with my right and play 4 rights, and immediately play 4 lefts. Now, this is where the metronome will come in eventually, but right now, think of 4 notes, 4 strokes, what we call quarter notes. And that same beat will be constantly repeating itself. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, notice how before I make the next stroke, I'm making sure the other stroke is back to match it. Okay, so here's what typically happens. And this is what you want to avoid. Why? Because you already do it. Demonstration. 4 strokes on each hand. Remember, this is wrong. Don't do this because you already do it. Notice how when I play, I stop the stick. My arm tightens up at impact. And all that energy that I created, all that rebound that was to help me get the stick back is now eliminated. And it's like starting all over. So you're working harder. Now, case in point, this is a beginning lesson. That is a useful stroke, okay? But what I'm trying to start you with is something that's very difficult, but with practice will give you an advantage in understanding control of the stick immediately, okay? So again, don't misunderstand. I'm not saying this is not a good stroke. I'm trying to show you something that you need to work at learning to do now because you already know how to do this. When you can learn those 2 strokes and use them effectively, you will be far ahead of where you would have been without lessons.